Hello, good evening. Welcome to one of my many, hopefully, live chats. And today I'm going to be talking to you about reasons why you might not be losing weight. You might be trying to be good and nothing's happening, and you might be thinking, well, what am I actually doing? What can I do to make a difference? So hopefully at the end of this little 10-minute, 15-minute session, I'll have given you some tips and some takeaways that you can put into practice tomorrow. So let's just see if anybody's there. If you are there and you're watching on in, then I'd love to hear from you. I'd love a little shout out, a little hello. So pop something in the comments and say hi if you're there. Hi, Kate. Lovely to see you. I've just seen her about an hour ago, actually, at class, but it's lovely to see you again. Thanks for joining in. Hello, Emma. Lovely Emma, who comes to classes. And Karen. Hi, Karen. Oh, this is lovely that you've all come on to say hi. Brilliant. So there are quite a few little things. It's not just like one or two things that we could do. Hello, Karen. I've got two Karens. I always call that member bingo when I have two Karens or two in a row. Member bingo. I've got two Karens. Hello, Karen. Lovely to see you. Hi, Sue. Right. So reasons why you might not be losing weight. So one of the big things that we do is our calorie intake. We actually eat more calories than we expend. And sometimes that's just because we don't really, if we're not tracking it down, we're kind of guesstimating. So we could be Hi, Helen. Hi, Mandy. We could be guessing how many calories we're actually taking on board, and then doing an aerobics class and thinking that we've actually expended more calories than we've eaten. I know it's a lot easier now. We've all got these watches and Fitbits, and you can actually track how many calories. But back in the day, it was very difficult to know how many calories you'd burnt doing a specific exercise. But don't be fooled, because an aerobic session, not my half-hour aerobic sessions that we do, we usually burn between 250 calories. And actually, if you go into a cafe and you have a slice of, dare I say it, cake, that could be up to 500 calories. So you've got to do at least two 30-minute sessions of my aerobics classes to just burn off that piece of cake. So it's just being aware of your calories, where they're coming from, how many you're having. Also things like, I always think people say to me about cheese. Cheese is obviously, it's good for you for the dairy that you get from it, and the calcium and everything. But, and you do need a little bit of cheese now and then, but just a matchbox, a tiny matchbox size is sufficient. Um, Things like cheese can just pile on the calories, and you think, oh, I've just had a little bit of cheese, but it can really pile on. And it's sort of empty calories as well, because it's quite calorific. So just think about things like that. Also, sometimes when people are being healthy and they grab the cereal bars and they think, well, that's healthy. Well, yeah, it's healthier than a chocolate bar, I admit. But sometimes they put lots of added sugar in it, or it's quite calorific. And you can wolf those down really, and sometimes you feel like you want another one, and they're not always the healthiest things to have. Maybe a handful of nuts is and some fruit is better than having a cereal bar. Portion sizes. So while we're talking about calories, lots of people underestimate their portion sizes. So they think that, having a plate of pasta, but sometimes they have a big plate, it can just pile on the calories without you even knowing it. So as a rule of thumb, we say for your pasta, your rice, your potatoes, always go for a fist size. Now I know some people probably have, if you're having like spaghetti bolognese or something, you have a big plate of spaghetti, a little bit of meat, but try and go for a fist size of your carbs. Then we recommend that you have half of your plate as vegetables, a rainbow of vegetables, and then you have a palm size of protein. Now, protein is really important, and I'm going to come on to that a little bit later. But do think about those carbs and your portion sizes that you're having. Maybe you need to track your calories and track your portions. There's loads of apps out there now that can really help, that you can download. I use an app called NutriCheck, and it's really good. and you just put everything in. And once you've got a few things in there, you can just copy and paste. And yeah, you might have to weigh things for a few days, but then you'll get used to the sizes. But if you don't want to weigh, and that's absolutely fine, I'm not saying you have to weigh, you absolutely don't, but go for those as a rule of thumb, and you can't go wrong with those. Consistency is another thing. All right, try and keep consistent. I know life happens, it absolutely does happen, and there will be weekends and there will be social events. So it's always good to think 80/20. So 80% of the time, just be as good as you can, and the other 20, live, live your life. But the key is to being consistent. So once you've had that 20 blast, go back to your 80. All right. When people try and lose weight, sometimes it's all or nothing. And they go, right, I'm going on a diet. I've got to lose this amount. I've got to go for it, go for it, go for it. And it's unsustainable. And then they end up, they're hungry. They're not eating the right things. They cut out fat. They cut out everything. And then they realise that they can't sustain it, and then they binge, right? And then that becomes a really unhealthy habit, you know, excess, just going for it, extreme dieting, and it never ever works. So you have to think consistency with the odd little blip. Nobody's weight loss journey ever goes like that. All right, there is nobody who's ever gone, oh, I was here, I weighed here, and now I weigh here. Nobody's ever done that in history of it. I've done this for 17 years. Nobody's ever done that. You kind of go down, then you might, but it's just that consistency. So do think about that. Aim for 1 to 2 pounds a week. Be realistic with your goals you're setting. Rome wasn't built in a day. All right, so consistency. I talked about hidden calories and portion sizes. Now, exercise. What about exercise? Yes, we recommend that you do your exercise because it will help to burn calories and fat. But really, if you're looking to lose weight, definitely do your exercise for your health, for your mental health. There's so many benefits to exercise. I could do a whole session on that. But you know, it is about what you're putting in your body. Like I said before, we underestimate how much exercise we need to do to burn off things. So carry on with your exercise. 15 minutes a day. I do my 15-minute class in the morning and we love it. And I do my classes. So do your exercise, but do think about what you're putting in as well into your body food-wise. We are what we eat. All right, and it takes a lot of effort to burn off those extra calories, so don't be fooled. It's just one thing I would say. It's not all doom and gloom, but don't be fooled. So think about that. Keep up with your activity and exercise. You know, instead of getting the bus, walking to town or whatever, just get that extra exercise in, but don't be fooled and just stay consistent with what you're eating. And eat a healthy, balanced diet, okay? Like I said, carbohydrates, vegetables, veggies. That is one mistake that a lot of people do. They don't add enough vegetables to their day. It has a knock-on effect, a positive knock-on effect by eating vegetables and fruit. You're going to have more energy. You're going to feel more full up. You're going to have less sugar cravings. You're not going to want to reach for stuff. So if you're eating the right things in a balanced diet, so lots of veggies, 5 a day. Again, I could do a whole talk on that. I've got my 5-day plant challenge, which is free on my website and my app. So if you want to hop onto that, there's some tips and information, and you've just got loads of info there. You can do that for free. So just think about your fruits and vegetables, and get those fruits and vegetables in because they will make a difference. Along with your protein. Now, as we get older and we get into menopause, protein is so important to your diet. If you're a sugar craving person, eat more protein because it's going to help. It really is. What am I talking about protein? It doesn't have to be just chicken and meat. There are so many different varieties of protein, especially plant-based protein if you're vegetarian. So you've got nuts, you've got quinoa, lentils, beans. I made a lentil. What did I make yesterday? A lentil and bean soup. No, it wasn't yesterday. It was last week. But yesterday I did sweet potato and lentil and spinach soup. But put your beans. Can of beans costs nothing. It doesn't have to be expensive. So put your beans in everything. Salads. I have beans for breakfast. I have beans for tea. Doesn't have to be baked beans. All sorts of beans. You can make them in salads. You can put them into dressings. You can put them into casseroles, and that will give you your protein. Chickpeas, fatty fish as well. I know back in the day it was you weren't going to have anything fatty. Well, that is a lie. You need to be getting those healthy fats in. Again, they're going to make you feel full, which helps with losing weight, and they're going to give you loads of good nutrients. And hi, Debbie. And they're going to really just stop you having those sugar cravings. So fatty fish, add that in. 1 or 2 portions a week is really important. So don't be afraid to have those healthy fats, because I know, back it was low fat, low fat, low fat. Just watch your low fat things you get in the supermarket, because a lot of them add sugar. All right, so they add it so it tastes nice, and you go back and have more. So do watch your labels. Hi Lou, it's lovely to see you all here. Hi Helen. So where were we with protein? So you've got dairy, yogurts, tofu, and then chicken and egg. So there is a huge amount, and we're very lucky now to have the age of Google, where you can just Google proteins, and it'll give you some really good sources. So there we go. So we've got quite a few things here that you can put into practice tomorrow. Also water. Now I'm a great believer in drinking lots of water. It's going to help you lose weight. It's going to stop you feeling hungry. I've just done my Menafit challenge. Well, we're just in the process of doing our Menafit challenge, and I've been saying to them, drink water, drink water. It's important to sip it throughout the day, but it can just, sometimes your body will trick you into making you feel hungry, and you might just be thirsty and dehydrated. So get that water down you. It is so important for life. It really is. It's going to stop you feeling cravings and everything. So that's really good. So get your water down you. Have you got a good support network? All right, that's really important. If you're trying to lose weight and your partner's not really on board, that can be such a huge impact on how you do. So you need to surround yourself with positive people if you're really serious and want to lose weight. So just say to your partner or your family, look, I'm really serious about this. I really want to do this. Just, give me a little bit of help and support, and I'm sure they will be really, really helpful and supportive. And I'm here to help and support you. That's part of what I do, and I love doing, and I love helping people. I'm passionate about it. So please do message me. If you're struggling and you need help, I can be your support system. I can be your cheerleader. Okay, so please do message me anytime, and I will help you with whatever I can. So make sure you've got a good support network to do it. That's another reason why people sometimes fail with their weight loss. And as we get older, unfortunately, our metabolism slows down. So you need to adjust the exercise you're doing and what you're eating. What you ate 20 years ago and the exercise you did 20 years ago will not now be suitable for you at the age you are, because your body changes. So we need to be mindful of that, and we need to adapt. And that's really easy to do. It doesn't mean you have to give up. It just means you have to just tweak things a little bit. Again, I'm here for you. I'm to help. And I have done so many wellness courses with women, menopausal women, postmenopause. So I kind of know which exercise we need to be doing, and I can help you with that as well. So please feel free to message me. So there's lots of little takeaways there. 2 other things I am just going to mention, which people don't really think about when they're, trying to lose weight, is lack of sleep and stress. And that, again, they are a whole 2 more topics that I could go into. But if you're not sleeping very well, and I did a little talk, if you scroll back, you'll see some tips on sleep. It can affect your hormones, it can affect your appetite. You can crave sugar and carbs. So make sure you're getting a really good night's quality sleep in. And then if you're not having very much sleep, you wake up cranky and you reach for the stuff. And we all know, don't we? We've all done it. So just make sure, an outside factor is make sure you get enough sleep. And the other thing is stress. All right. I'd say the 3 big rocks in women's nutrition: stress, sleep, nutrition. Did I say women's nutrition? Women's wellness is stress, sleep, and nutrition. So think about your stress. Are you an emotional eater? Does something go wrong in the day, and do you grab for something because you're not eating because you're hungry, you're eating because you're stressed? Well, this is something that I know I've done in the past, and I know lots of people that do that. So you need a strategy. If you're one of those people who are sitting there going, yes, Ros, that's me, you need a strategy. Firstly, take any temptating, I'm doing very well with my words today, tempting foods out of the way. All right, get them out of the house. Start to write down what you're doing. If you see it in black and white, you're more likely not to do it if you see it. All right. And before you reach for that, just take a step back if you can and say, what did Ross say? Am I eating because I'm hungry, or am I eating because I'm feeling stressed and emotional? And ask yourself this quick question. If I eat that food because I'm feeling stressed and emotional, will the problem that I'm getting stressed about, will it go away? What's the answer to that? What do you think? Answers on a postcard. um, so, we eat because we think it's going to make the situation better, but it doesn't. It might make us feel good for 5 minutes, and then what sets in? The guilt. All right. And then you might eat the next day because you felt guilty, and then everything tumbles down around your ears. So just take a step back. Tomorrow, if you're listening to this and you think, right, some really good tips there, and you've made some tips and written it down, tomorrow I want you to wake up positive. It's positive, another day tomorrow, and plan out your food, plan your exercise. If you've planned everything, you're more likely to stick to it. With your exercise, if you say, I'm going to do Rosie's class Saturday morning, then write it in your diary as if it's an appointment that you've got to go to the hairdressers or you've got to go to the doctors. Write it in because you're more likely to stick to it. All right? And plan your food out. Plan your shop, plan your food. It doesn't have to be diet food that costs a lot of money. Just it can be really cheap, like beans, and vegetables. They're not that expensive really in the scheme of things. Meat is more expensive, but we don't have to be eating meat all the time. I've given you some other protein alternatives that are not meat. So that's me. I've been rambling on. I hope that's helped. Just some takeaways from that then. Think about your calorie intake and your exercise, your sleep and your stress. Think about being consistent, plan, think about your portions and your water and your veggies. All right. And just take each day as it comes. Consistency is key, planning is key. And I hope you've enjoyed that little talk. Like, I only went over by 2 minutes. Once I got into the flow, could have sat here all night. I hope that's helped. Has anyone got any questions or anything they want to? Don't be shy. Have you got any questions, or did that make sense, or are you now lying down in a dark room thinking, oh, any questions? No? I don't know whether I've seen all the comments on here. Yes, I have. Oh, thank you, Sue. I hope that helped. As I say, please do message me. I am here. Now, I'm going to hopefully do another little live chat next week at 8:30. And if you ask me now what it's about, I probably can't. Oh, why toning will change your life. If you're a member of mine, you know that I'm a massive fan of toning. Oh, sorry, Emma. Is it true that tea doesn't count towards your daily water? Well, it does count, but you have to think about the caffeine in the tea. So maybe have fruit teas, definitely, because we're trying to get rid of that caffeine, too much caffeine. So I would say try and drink 2 litres of water as water or herbal teas. Have a couple of teas. They kind of do count, but they don't count. Does that make sense, Emma? So you've got to think about the caffeine you're having. So I would say two to three coffees a day, maybe even just two to three teas, but then water. Have your water, 2 litres at least if you can. And if you're not drinking any water now, then don't suddenly wake up tomorrow and drink like 3 litres of water, because your body won't cope. You need to introduce it gradually. Okay. I've just, I hope that helps. Good, Helen, I'm glad. Oh, Lou, kiss back. Thanks, Karen. I've just chopped up garlic melon to snack on. Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's fine, Karen. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, brilliant. All right then, my lovelies. I'm going to let you go and enjoy your evening. Thanks for joining me. Hope it helped. If you've got any feedback about what I've done today, then I'd really appreciate just maybe a little message or something if you thought I was absolute rubbish. Then I'll never talk to you again. No, I'm only joking. So if that's helpful, let me know. And I shall see you soon. Bye bye.